Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Lauren Stewart. I am the naturalist at Maumee Bay State Park, and today we have an open house. It's actually an open house for 3 different state parks: East Harbor, Catawba Island, and the Marblehead Lighthouse State Parks. So today we have joining us Mike Monette, the park manager at those parks, and later on you're going to meet naturalist Kara Freimark. And here is Mike.
We good?
Yes, yeah.
Yes. Thank you, Lauren. Well, yes, my name is Mike Monette. I've been with the division for 23 years. Started at South Bass Island and spent some time at Kelly's Island. And since 2013, I've been manager East Harbor State Park. So I know questions and answers are at the end, but I was just going to start today with a question I'm commonly asked. So yeah, let's get started here with East Harbor. What's my favorite part of East Harbor? What is unique about East Harbor? A lot of people ask that. Why would I want to come there? And it's definitely our location along the north coast. We have 2.5 miles of shoreline along Lake Erie, and we have views of the islands out in the distance. We've got sunsets, sunrises, so there's always something cool to look at out on Lake Erie. If you look at the picture here, a large portion of our shoreline has a natural sand beach, and our designated bathing beach is protected by 4 offshore rock islands. These offshore rock islands knock the wave action down. We have a nice gentle sandy slope at our beach, so it's great for folks of all ages. At opposite ends of our 2.5-mile shoreline, there's the East Harbor and West Harbor channel walls. These areas have actually become natural sandbars. There's a lot of sand out that extends into the lake, so it's become our boaters' beaches for quite a few years. People idle in, drop anchor, and spend the afternoon on their boats, walking around, having fun on the shallow sandy bottom, or sunbathing along the shoreline. Spend the whole day or afternoon out there. As well as these areas along the beach and the boaters' beach, we have our lakefront day use areas, picnic areas with grills. We have a playground. We have multi-use trails, parking areas. There's parking for 400 to 500 vehicles out in these areas, and you can just pull up and have lunch or get out and about, have a barbecue. These different areas are supported by our beach house, which has some modern flush restrooms, changing booths, outdoor showers, and some vending machines. So that's what I think's one of many special things about East Harbor State Park, is our natural resource being Lake Erie. So now we are going to head about a half-mile south to our main park and campground area, if I get the slide right. Yeah, so camping. We are not the oldest state park, but East Harbor was established in 1950. We are the largest state-operated campground in our state, with 586 campsites. We have 354 electric sites, many of which are in our B camping area. That's my favorite area because there's a lot of pull-through sites and mature maple trees. So it's a very nice part of the campground. And we have C area and E area as well, which are electric. 168 non-electric sites up in A area, which is also a nice shaded area. 10 group sites and 51 full hookup sites. 5 years ago, we had 26 new full hookup sites installed, and those are what people want, and they're high demand, and we're putting them in all across the state, and we're fortunate to have 51 here at East Harbor. 4 shower houses. 1 new one was installed several years ago. We will talk about that later. 12 restroom buildings, 2 dump stations, and our nature center. It's about 1,000 square foot room on the side of our camp store, and it's getting renovated this summer. So we look forward to next summer with new wall coverings, displays, exhibits, flooring, things such as that. That top picture to the right, it's not just our nature center, that's our camp store area with the patio out front. And every weekend our friends group has a cookout out front, so good place to go on a Saturday to have lunch, go in our store, get some apparel, some camping supplies, slushies. We have some other frozen treats like hand dipped ice cream. So that's a good place to get away from your campsite and don't cook and enjoy some fun up at the camp store. We also have not a nature center, but a game room with games and even crafts and things we hold in that portion of the camp store building up there. Last summer, 2020, we had nearly 49,000 night stays, which with the condensed season with the COVID-19 was actually a record-setting season for us and many other parks. So we're going to the next one. We have two different getaway rentals at East Harbor. You can see here our yurt, $60 a night. If you look at the lattice structure in the bottom picture, there's windows that surround that area. So you unzip those and roll them up, and you can get a nice breeze. You can sit out on the deck, and it sits right on the backside of East Harbor. So on a picnic table or the grill or on the deck, enjoy the sights of East Harbor in the background. There's plenty of area to go have fun outside of there as well. Futon, full-size mattress, 5 people, mini fridge, microwave, TV, gas grill. So kind of get the conveniences of a cabin with a tent-like structure you're staying in. So that's something cool you can stay at. We also have our 2 Sherman cabins. They were new last summer. One is ADA compliant, $70 a night, refrigerator, microwave. A nice thing about these cabins is it does have air conditioning. Set of bunk beds in a single bed. We put these back in B area in the first cul-de-sac, so it's hard to see from the picture, but it is very secluded. So it's a nice setting on a busy weekend. You would never know you're at East Harbor with 586 sites with the way we kind of have these 2 cabins nestled in their own area. So that was something new last summer, and we look forward to this summer. 2 shelter houses at East Harbor, which are available for rent. Online, just like campsites and cabins, is the shelter house rentals at reserveohio.com, $50 a day. Fireplace at each end. We have charcoal grills. There's tables outside, electrical outlets inside each shelter house. Lockwood Shelter House sits near our Lockwood Pond, which is a stocked pond, which gives you more activities to do when you're at Lockwood, or our 18-hole disc golf course, which is nearby. Harborview sits along East Harbor, so you got a view of the harbor and plenty of lawn space for all kinds of activities inside and out of the shelter house. So that's Harborview and Lockwood. Other park amenities, we have 2 sand volleyball courts, one in the group area and one in A area. We have a basketball court, which sits very close to Harborview. Give you another activity if you rent out the Harborview Shelter House. 2-lane boat ramp, launch ramp at East Harbor. That's another, maybe a little secret about East Harbor. If it's too rough to be on the big lake, or you want to canoe or kayak, which we have a launch ramp there for East Harbor, you can get into the calmer waters of East Harbor and paddle around. It's a great bass fishery. There's a lot of bluegill in there. So if your boat's not as big enough to be on the big lake, or you just need a break, you can go back into East Harbor. We have 18-hole disc golf course, and we mentioned Lockwood Pond. It's stocked with trout and catfish every year. So there's bluegill and bass in Lockwood Pond as well. Recent improvements. I mentioned 4 shower houses. The 1 shower house was added 3 years ago in C area. It being new, it's got the unisex showers. It has a family bathroom with shower included, which are all things that people want these days instead of the old styles. We have 2 new restroom buildings in A area and B area. A new dump station in the top right picture, that's back in B. So between the 2-hole station at B and a 4-hole station in C area, we're able to keep up with the kind of the Sunday outflow of all the campers leaving the campground with minimal lines compared to some other places. A new AST fuel tank isn't real exciting, but if you're a boater and you're staying at our marina, it is. So that was new this year. Was just completed over the fall. 8,000-gallon tank, 2 new fuel dispensing units, and new lines. So it's just an overall park improvement with our marina, which will lead us to the next slide. East Harbor State Park Marina. We do concession this out to an outside vendor to run, and has 125 floating docks, boats up to 40 feet. Parking, a convenience store, restroom, showers, laundry. It does have the fuel stations and a sewer pump out if you need that. It has transient and seasonal boating opportunities there. I'll have the phone number for that at the end of the program. It does have a launch ramp and a hoist, so even the larger boats to pull in or pull in or pull out. So that's our marina. And another thing about the marina, it is located along West Harbor. Even though it's called East Harbor State Park Marina, it is located along West Harbor, and it's the closest marina to Lake Erie. So it's a short distance in and out from your dock from our marina. Most of them are located further south, so that's a plus with our location there. And I will go to the next slide. Friends of East Harbor State Park. We're always looking for volunteers. So it's our friends group here at East Harbor State Park. They're committed to raising funds for special events and projects at our park. They coordinate events, fishing derbies, cookouts, crafts. As I mentioned earlier, up at our camp store, every Saturday they have a cookout, and those proceeds all go to the friends group, building things to improve our park. We also have our Halloween Boo Crew, we call them, and we're always looking for volunteers to assist with that. It's the first 2 weekends in October, and if you don't want to be part of the East Harbor Friends group, you could help for just a couple weeks each fall and help us with our Halloween camp out. So some recent improvements, the top left, we have the fishing pier at Lockwood Pond. So that was a nice project they did for us. We're currently building a shelter house over our amphitheater, and that's something that their donations or your donations and proceeds have gone towards. Friends Group has also helped us out with the 18-hole disc golf course. That's the concrete tees, that's the holes, that's the new sign markers at each hole. So everything they generate at East Harbor State Park or is donated goes just back into improving facilities and structures and improvements at our park. So okay, I'm going to turn it over to Kara Freemark, our naturalist.
Hi, I'm naturalist Kara Freimark. So I've been with the ODNR since 2012, and I've been a naturalist aide since 2016 at the Marblehead Lighthouse, and I love that park, so I'm here to tell you a little about it. So when you go to this park, it's beautiful there. You can go fishing, you get beautiful views of the island, so you can see several of the islands. You get a good view of Cedar Point. There's always weddings out there. There's always proposals done out there. Now, as far as the tours, so those run from Memorial Day to Labor Day weekend every day, weather dependent though. So if it's storming or raining, we do not do them. The stairs become slippery, or that can act as a large lightning rod, so you do not want to be up in that lighthouse at all. But the tours run from 12 to 4 p.m. So 3:40 being the last time for the tour. So they run every 20 minutes, and everyone gathers beside the lighthouse. We do a historical talk and a little safety talk, and then you head to the top. And there's someone waiting up there, so if you have any questions, you can ask them any questions that you may need. Also, the park, if you're not like just going on the tour, the park does offer a lot of picnic tables, great for picnicking and just relaxing. So the tower did go through some improvements in 2019 to 2020. So repairs were needed to fix cracks and loose stucco around the exterior. So they had to point and tuck, do masonry work needed around the windows and doors. And exterior, the entire exterior of the lighthouse was actually painted, so it's nice and bright and white again. There was electrical work done as well. So the Marblehead Lighthouse Historical Society is a nonprofit organization formed to establish a museum for the preservation of the history of the unique village in the shores of Lake Erie and the Sandusky Bay, with a special interest in its historical Marblehead Lighthouse. So the Marblehead Lighthouse Society actually operates a gift shop, and it is a museum as well in the Keeper's House, and they conduct tours of the U.S. Life Saving Station. museum and tower, which those are actually free, and they're free to walk through, and they're open at the same time as the lighthouse. And back to the lighthouse tours, I did forget to mention, it's $3 a person for the tours unless you're 5 and under. And the tours are going to operate as usual unless like depending on Governor DeWine's COVID protocols or anything. So everything should be operating. Now, a recent completed project of the U.S. Life Saving Station, which is an 1876 replica, which serves as a museum that I was just talking about, includes a restored 1920s vintage 26-foot rescue boat and displays. And then new for this year, if you have been out on the property, you'll see there's a new restroom, modern restroom, flushing toilets, and there's going to be a lot of parking for visitors as well. Now back to Mike for the Catawba Island State Park.
Okay, yes, Catawba Island State Park, one of our smaller state parks, at a little less than 10 acres, and basically a day use park with access to Lake Erie there in the Western Basin with 4 launch ramps. So along with the launch ramps, we have 2 picnic areas and actually a modern flush restroom that was installed in 2015. That was a much needed improvement. But we have a large fishing pier that provides access to Lake Erie, cobblestone beach, which is great for skipping rocks or launching canoes, kayaks, or other kind of paddle sports. It is pretty, I mean, you get a south or southwest wind, it gets a little choppy in there, but more often than not, that's a great place for paddle sports. Easy to get in and out, and calmer waters there, kind of in the cove there at Catawba. So we have a shelter house as well with Reserve Ohio. You will see a picture of that in the next slide. So great place to just sit and view in the lawn or the picnic areas. You can see here the sunsets. That's pretty perfect location for those. Kind of another hidden secret is 4th of July fireworks. So believe it or not, you can see several little villages and municipalities that set off fireworks from this location, and yeah, just something cool to remember. So we'll go to the recent improvements. We've invested a lot of capital into Catawba State Park in the last several years. New launch ramps with docks. You can see those floaters out there are 80 feet long. We used to have basically 25-foot docks. So that, along with the improved maneuverability area, we kind of changed the angle of backing trucks and trailers and boats down into the water. So we put $2.1 million into this maneuverability and new ramp and dock area. Actually, the ramps are new as well as the docks. So much needed improvements, and it's a lot better. And this place we're at the walleye capital of the world. Catawba pretty much gives you access immediately to the Western Basin and even the reefs over around Camp Perry. So the spring spawn and jigging season is on, and it is a very crowded place. It's crowded in the winter as well if we get ice fishing, because of those same reasons that get you out to the shallower water where the walleye move in. And so it's a very popular place for fishing, pleasure boating, and things like that. We're just a couple miles from the Lake Erie Islands if you launch from Catawba, and we can accommodate over 120 trucks and trailers. So just even more reasons why this is a busy place at kind of a small park. Picnic shelter down there you can see near the pier, available for reservations, and take advantage of fishing off the pier or hanging out on the cobblestone beach. So the flush restrooms are very close to the shower house, and the future improvement, anyone who's been around there, they know our pier it needs renovated. The surface of that has been a factor with the last few years of high water. We've put some temporary repairs in there to open it this summer, as long as it does not become submerged and slick with kind of moss and stuff like that. We hope to keep it open, and we hope to get the plans and funding in place to get that renovated here as soon as we can. So we ran out of money with the other project, as the pier was originally a portion of those projects. So next slide. Hey, here's not all of our staff, but this is kind of our core of our year-round staff. So we if you check on the names there, A lot of our maintenance crew this winter and spring and even fall, we put touchless valves all across our showers and restrooms in East Harbor. That's kept the guys busy. That's toilets, that's faucets, that's hand dryers and stuff like that. So those are all improvements you're going to see we've been working on over the winter. So, well, there's our staff. That's actually when they set the new Sherman cabin in place. But contacts, as Lauren mentioned, I'm Mike Minette, but my real name's William. So that's my email address, park office phone number, the Marina, if you're interested in the Marina operation. If you have questions for Kara, you can get those to me and I'll forward them to her. If you've not been to the area, I strongly suggest you check out the Lake Erie Shores and Islands Welcome Center off Route 53. Just the outside of the building's pretty cool, but there's a lot of displays and information, all kinds of stuff around the area and the islands. So Lake Erie Shores and Islands, I recommend that as a stop if you're in the area. So any questions, Lauren?
No questions. I just want to thank everybody so much for joining us today. And I hope you can visit these state parks this summer. They're lovely, especially being right next to Lake Erie. Thank you all so much and have a great evening, or sorry, afternoon. Have a great day.